Let's go ahead and call this meeting to order. We're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. And then we'll go right into opportunity for public comment. This is an opportunity for anyone to address the committee on any issue either on or not on the current agenda.
Want to do roll call first?
Oh, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
No problem. All right. Jennifer Bonte.
Here.
Jed Henry.
Here.
Trustee Hartman.
Here.
Sarah Borkart is not here. And Melissa Hins, not present. All right.
All right. Thanks, Mike. So we'll now move into public comment. This is an opportunity for anyone to address the committee on any issue either on or not on the current agenda. Please observe the time limit of 3 minutes while the committee encourages input from residents. You may not discuss or act on any issue that is not duly noted on the agenda. Is there anyone wishing to speak on Zoom, as there's nobody here in person?
If anybody would like to speak currently on anything that's not on the topic, you can please raise your hand. Going once, going twice.
Okay.
All right.
We're going to move into then reports. As the committee chairperson, I have no immediate reports, although I would like to note the sad past week and a half, 2 weeks that we've had here in the Cross Plains Middleton area with the death of 3 students at the high school in a tragic accident. And so I just want to throw that out there so that everybody can just understand the gravity of life a little bit and just appreciate the fact that these guys were phenomenal human beings. That's all I got. Are there any committee members that have any reports?
I just wanted to bring up being on the finance committee. There was some discussion that we need to start considering things that are involved in parks. The items that I have are County Highway P trail construction, the electric utility vehicle, pool feasibility study.
Hey, Jed, can you check your internet connection?
As well as there was some better now.
Maybe if you start over, you want to start over?
Yeah, I'm just on it's just cellular service. So anyway, I can send you the email or the photo afterwards of the items that came up. But essentially there was like a handful of items that the finance committee wants to start discussing. And since I haven't even heard of them in a parks meeting, I think it's something that we should discuss. And then there was also some discussion about coming up with a policy for updating parks, once they exceed their life term, in many cases, it seems like about 20 years. There was discussion about parks coming up with some kind of a policy. So it's more of a heads up that this is coming up in other committees and that we should at least discuss it, because the budget items I haven't heard of in a parks thing. So it would just be nice to talk about those before they come up in a finance or other committee meeting. That's all I got.
Good, sounds good.
Any other members have any reports?
I want to ask about construction that went on here this last week, right? At Commissioner? Is that last week?
It did, yeah.
Yep.
Last Thursday.
And that was middle school.
Correct. Yep, middle school. It went really well overall. There's a lot of people up there at Bear Park. If you're around, or you may have went. That's probably why you're asking. But overall, very successful. We had a few changes to the actual race itself, or the layout of the race. We had asked them to stay off the large diamond with the restoration project that we had done, along with all the rain that we had. Didn't want any complications within that, so they were able to change the course up. We were able to help them a little bit. And yeah, we heard that everything went really well. So excited to have him here, and told him it's fun. You know, it's a great partnership for all of us, I think, and obviously for the village as well. So it's good.
Well, and to add to that, the girls cross country team at the high school did sweep conferences this past weekend. The boys got second. And so sectionals will be this weekend, so they can go Cardinals.
Nice. Good luck.
All right. There it is, sorry. Okay, we'll move on to report from recreation coordinator. Not a report. And Parks and Recreation Director.
I just have a few things here. So this Saturday is our NFL flag football tournament. We have our 4th and 6th grade teams will be playing in Fitchburg. Our 5th, 7th, and 8th grade teams will be playing in Stoughton. So it's kind of an all-day event. Usually start around 9 a.m., get done around 3 or so. So good luck to all of them. Should be fun. If you're not doing anything, come on out. We, like I talked about, we did have a seed. We did a restoration project on the large diamond. It's going really well. We were able to water it throughout the month of September. The seed itself took really well. We had great weather for it in that regard, so that helped. We'll be restoring the pitching mound, finishing that up hopefully tomorrow, actually, with all the great weather we've had. So that should be back to the way it was prior to the start of the season. We did get a bunch of clay bricks along with bags of clay to do a full restoration of that as well. And then last thing within parks, we've been doing a lot of playground inspections, just making sure still as kids are out that we're taking care of any troubled areas that we have. And obviously Glacial Valley Park still is getting a ton of use, even on Friday. So on Friday, there was probably 50 middle school kids there. So playing basketball, you know, on the playground itself, so kind of all over, which is pretty cool as well. So third thing here with the pool, we've been cleaning the vessel out. We had a lot of black algae again this year. So we're trying to clean up a lot of those troubled areas. We do have some plastering to redo, which we'll plan to do here come spring before we open for next year. We did start the winterizing of all the bathhouse, so that's pretty much ready to go for cold weather. We just got to get into the vessel now. Do that next. So. Next, we have a survey that'll go out to all parents and/or kids that were in our programs throughout this year. It's so full through 2021. That'll be going out tomorrow, providing you're all okay with that. It just more or less asks, you know, if they're a village resident or not. More just kind of get a beat on that. Talks about how many kids they have. Talks about the offerings, were they satisfied or not. If they weren't satisfied, we're kind of asking, you know, what we could do better for next year. We're also asking if there's anything that we didn't offer that they'd like to see kind of in the future. So do that through SurveyMonkey. We have it going through November 16th date. And we'll come back with a full report for all of you, probably December or early January to start the year off.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty obvious that the library rooftop replacement might have interfered with our ability as a village to put up the must-see declarations this year. Is that true, or what? I think it is.
Yeah, I'm not really sure about that with the monthly. I didn't see a special event permit even come in. Normally the group is outside of us.
It's outside of us.
Correct. Yeah. The chamber was the group that's kind of started that to help put these monsters and things out. I'm not sure, you know, if that wasn't approved by, I know the special event never came forward. I'd never seen one. So I'm not sure if they plan to do that again or not.
So it's not something, those decorations were not donated necessarily to the village, like that would be our
Correct.
responsibility.
They were not.
They were
Yeah.
to the chamber or some other organizations that are the chamber. So.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
They were donated to the chamber. Yep. To the chamber. And I believe they're actually stored at Latitude Graphics in the building. So, yeah, you're welcome. And then lastly, just real quick, good news that the Northwest Dane Senior Services, the village and the CWA group got approved for the large grant. So the bike will be getting ordered here in the next month or so. We'll be meeting over the next few weeks to discuss the process and how they'll go forward, you know, with the rentals and when someone needs it, how they get it in the storage. So it's exciting. So congrats to them. Julie and Kevin did a great job bringing people into the community that could help with that project, and really took it on for their opening that day to kind of, you know, talk about what could be. So it's great. That's all I have for you.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Mike. Much appreciated. And then we're going to go into committee discussion item number 1. I'd move that we approve the minutes of September 15th, 2021. Can we get a second, please?
I wasn't here, so.
Jed, can you hear us?
Yep.
Would you be willing to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from September 15th?
Sure. Did you already make the motion, or do you want me to second it?
I'm making a request for you to make the motion. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I'm looking for you to second. Thank you, Jed.
Yes, I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Then moving on to agenda item number 2, discussion regarding the addition of well 3 in Bullfelder Park. I think I'll turn it over to Mike for.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. I'm just gonna try and get these people in
Yeah,
here.
want-
Yeah.
Sure.
It's like they're trying to join. Here. All right. All right, so this is the fun part. This is what everyone came here for tonight. What I'll kind of do is give an overview of how the process will go here for this evening. We don't have anybody actually here for the meeting, so we'll do everything virtually with all of you that are on tonight. How we'll do it is I would request that you just raise your hand. Once your hand is up, I'll kind of have Trustee Hartman call on you. We'll click on, I'm sorry, I won't have to click on, I'll unmute you. You can unmute yourself actually when he calls your name. Once your name is called, please give us your name and then give us your address. And then at that time, we'll take any comments that you'd like to see in regards to the well number 3 in Hofelder Park. Real quick, the village board did approve, obviously, the new well house to go in there. That's what brought us here tonight. So the well will be happening. We don't really want to have comments and discussion regarding that. However, we just want to keep the process open for people and let you know that we are here to listen to you. And we are here to take that information that you give us this evening and through this next month or so to the village board and plan commission for recommendation. So as many of you probably know, I just kind of put together some pictures here, or we had some pictures of some drawings. The drawing itself shows the well house and the impervious surface there. The well house is roughly 20 feet by 27 feet or so. And the impervious surface is roughly 30 by 40 feet with another 10-foot wide path. So that will be happening. The aerial picture of it as well was within that packet for you to look at. More or less just kind of shows you where the placement of this well would be. The placement and or size of the building will not be really changed at all, as that had to be approved with the DNR in the previous process. So that kind of takes us, unless anyone has any questions before we get started. That's just
I just wondered.
yeah. Just make sure you mute, otherwise that may pick up some background noise. So we'll get started then with that process, with our process tonight for this visioning. So if you'd like to raise your hand, who'd like to be brave and go start, or brave and start us? Looks like.
Yeah, go ahead, Gail.
So thanks for letting the neighborhood kind of give some thoughts. Appreciate that. And new park too, I want to give you kudos on with on Bourbon Way, off Bourbon. That's been hit. One thing that I guess I would hope is that you're using natural colors, so the nature colors of green and like a walnut, whatever that would be. And if you can add from what you're building, kind of an extended roof, perhaps that could be a pavilion where people would have a place to sit with maybe a couple of picnic tables. That's the only thought that I had.
Thank you very much, Gail. Appreciate your feedback. Anyone else wish to join the comment conversation?
I have a comment. This is Tyler. I'm at,
thank you.
can you hear me?
Yep.
Take care, thank you.
Perfect. I'm at 1248 Gills Way, so I'm just 2 houses down from the park and the future well here. I was wondering if you could talk on, I can talk on the points on the aesthetic and the landscaping, but I was just concerned about the noise of the generator and what you are going to be doing for sound mitigation, considering that, my yard is in this photo right here. You can see my backyard. It's the one that's not fenced there. So very close to where this generator will be, as Casey's house will as well. So that's probably my largest concern is sound mitigation. Will that generator be out in the open, or will that be housed inside a small structure? And then what are you doing for sound mitigation, if you can talk on that?
Yeah, so Tyler, this is really a visioning for you. So it's more of what you'd want to see around that. So making sure we have some sound mitigation is more or less your comment, right? Obviously, within that.
Yeah, so so if I can comment on that, it would be that we, that there is as small of a structure as possible built around that generator, and that, we're significantly investing in the sound mitigation in that structure, because I think that's one of the largest concerns that I have there. So, I'm not a sound engineer, but that's what I'd like to see invested in.
Yeah, so what I wrote down was making, investing in that and making sure that the sound mitigation is a priority around that. Okay, that's perfect. And we have had some discussion just within staff, at the beginning of this, whether it be fenced, or would you want something more like arborvitae to go around that, something more natural in that sense? Would that be good enough? It's more about, from you as neighbors within that, what you'd really like to see within that process, or within that design. So
yeah, and my preference on that would be for the landscaping would be to be trees or keep it natural, rather than just a large fence surrounding it.
okay.
Unless there's a very compelling reason from a sound mitigation standpoint, but visually prefer to blend in with the nature conservancy behind there.
Sure, that sounds great.
And then I agree with Gail with the natural colors, walnuts, browns, greens, to blend in with the trees there.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Tyler, you also mentioned just like sound mitigation, but having the structure as minimal as possible.
Right. Yeah. And I don't know if those are two conflicting things, right? But I think that should be explored. I don't know what the housing around the generator would look like, or if that could be relatively small.
Yeah.
And still provide sound mitigation.
Sure. Sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for the comment.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Next up, we have Casey and then Gail. So we'll go Casey first.
Sure. Hi, guys. Ooh, I don't have very good Zoom lighting here in my room compared to most of you. Sorry for that. No, we're not celebrating Halloween just yet at the Fitzrandolph house. Couple kind of comments, questions along the lines of Tyler's. Really, from a generator perspective, so we're concerned about the noise. If my understanding is correct, you guys fielded some complaints over at Bear, and I believe, I could be wrong here as well, but the that generator is further away from those homes than this one will be from ours. So, are we making a good decision here? And I guess maybe the answer to that is it depends on how loud this generator will be compared to that one, right? If it's a lot quieter, then maybe you won't be perpetuating problems with us as village residents. If it's as loud and much closer, then it seems like a really bad idea to me. So is there a way to, Tyler's point, is there a way to encapsulate that within the building itself versus have it standalone? And my impression of it is, just in talking to people smarter about the topic than I am, that you can do a fair amount from a sound suppression and a muffler perspective, et cetera, even if you house it inside of a building. So kind of same concerns, and I know I don't expect you guys to have answers tonight, but I just wanted to voice some of those same concerns.
Yeah, it's great. And that's what we're looking for. So we can take these to make an educated decision, or help the board make an educated decision on what things would look like and what would be done. That type of discussion in regards to the generator would have to probably be done by Evan, our village engineer, in this process. We have received some complaints about the one at Bear Park. I don't know if the sizing of this is the same or not. I don't know the specs of those things, but it's a good question, and obviously a good concern. I think, being able to do something natural would be ideal. I just don't know if that will be enough, if that would keep it off. Now, the other thing is the generator does only run about once, I think it's once a month they run it for about an hour. So, it's not all the time, but yes, it's still, if you're in a Zoom call, you may not be able to hear during that time, or if your windows are open. So yeah, it's something good to be on the forefront on, and make sure that we discuss it early on. So.
Okay. Yeah, and maybe if they can tell us a little bit about, decibel level of this one versus the one over there, that might be good insight.
Sure. Good. I'm writing that down. So good.
Any other questions, Casey?
I think I'm good, at least for now. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. I think Gail was up next.
Another question.
I already went first.
Oh
yeah.
Okay.
Maybe your hand might
I
still.
put my address in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
This is Tyler one more time. Just one thing I wanted to say is I'd love to see if they're, once we're a little farther down the process, but what they're proposing visually for the area, because I think we're all invested in what that looks like and making sure that it blends with the park and the rest of the neighborhood. So if they, I know they have, they can do 3D renderings and software for what they're proposing. And I think that would help us really to visualize what we're seeing, because it's one thing to, look from overhead and see two squares in a field versus see what that would actually look like in the space. So I would request visuals for what's being proposed that we could all at least weigh in on and have an opinion on.
Sounds great.
Anyone else wishing to participate or join in the conversation, or have anything that they wish the Parks and Rec committee to hear on the issue of the well design and or generator placement and all that good stuff?
Well, I will let you know. So I'll have the form that you kind of see with this visioning, what color would you like? Has what accent colors would you like to see? And obviously we've heard a lot of you tonight talk about the natural colors, which we kind of expected. And sometimes people don't like to talk in meetings like this. So what I've done is put a link on our village website, which you can find that has that form. It's actually in the form sense from a PDF standpoint. So you can fill that form out, save it to your computer and send it into my email. We'll be taking those until November 18th. So if you want to send it to your neighbors, or if others would like to comment on, or if you think of something even before that date, that's the best and easiest way to make sure that your voice is heard within that. I'll compile all that information, bring that to the committee here for more discussion. And what we hope to do is do a joint meeting between the Parks Committee and also the Plan Commission, so that they can see, all of your comments and discussions to make a informative decision on, what these drawings should look like. Those meetings will also be public, so at any time that these meetings are going on, you can be a part of that conversation. So we'll try and keep you in the loop within that. If you want to make sure that you send me your email, I can make sure that you're on that agenda, making sure that you're getting that agenda via email. And if you have any questions or comments before that, feel free to send me an email, or Trustee Hartman as well on this topic, if you'd like. So.
Yeah, go ahead, Casey.
Sorry, guys. Mike, Andy, do either of you know what, I saw that the next, I think it's village board meeting has the well, sorry, my screen is, if it's not one thing, it's another. There we go. The next village board meeting has, I think, the well topic included within it. And I'm just wondering if we, on one hand, I don't want to obviously miss conversation and hearing of decisions. On the other hand, I feel like I am suffering from an anxiety disorder trying to keep track of the various, committees and board meeting, topics of conversation. Do you know what they're going to discuss, or whether we should make sure we're on that? Any advice?
I didn't know that was on the agenda. Our village president had asked us to have this meeting, this visioning session within, for all of you. I hope they weren't expecting me to, I mean, granted, we heard kind of the same thing from all of you tonight. However, there may be more comments. I want to make sure that it's open for people to have more discussion on these things. If they want to move forward with some 3D options or something, that probably wouldn't be too bad. Obviously, then you have some time to look at it and look through it. But I wasn't aware that it was on the agenda for Monday. So I can ask it, Casey, and obviously all of you are on here, so I can send out an email to all of you tomorrow with more info on that.
That'd be wonderful.
Sure.
Yeah, if it's just them approving, a budget to make a payment or something, that's one thing, right? But if it's more than that, then it'd be awesome to know. Thanks,
I'm
Mike.
finding that we're going to move forward without further resident input as far as design is concerned.
Yeah.
I believe Katie had a question. Bolin.
Katie?
No, we are good. Just listening in.
Okay, sounds great. All right, well,
I think at this point then we'll, sorry, I'm just trying to get something like that. Again. Okay.
Or do you want to end that? So yeah, I'll just reiterate one more time. So I will try and stay in contact with all of you, or at least, the ones I know that are on here tonight, to let you know the next steps or where the board is at. I'll try and make sure that this is as transparent as possible as we kind of move forward with this. As I know it's contentious, but I think, for all of us, we can work together to make sure it's done right and done to the way that, your neighbors shouldn't have to feel the impact of it. So I know there's a way that we can do that, and I'll do my best to make sure that you're all informed within that decision-making process. So if you have any questions, once again, feel free to send me an email or give me a call. You can also contact our village president and or village administrator, as they're involved in this project as well. So
Glad everybody showed up tonight to voice their opinions, and contact me as well if you have any concerns, but I think we're in good hands with Mr. Mike Jackson at the helm of this kind of thing. At this point in time, I take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Can I get a second from anyone?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. All right, we stand adjourned. Thank you so much, everybody, for showing up tonight, and we appreciate your comments and participation.
Thanks, guys.
thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Jeff.